Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great episode here of the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad, where we look at all 32 NFL teams. We are in the preseason review section, and today we're looking at a 2024 playoff team, the Denver Broncos, led by second-year quarterback Bo Nix, out of the University of Oregon, had a very high quality rookie season, came on especially late into the season. So he, out of the rookie class, he had a very strong season as a quarterback. And I would like to ask where you would rank him amongst the now second year quarterbacks in the NFL.
Amongst the second-year quarterbacks, Ted, I would have to rank him number two. Humbly, of course, behind Jaden Daniels. But if Jaden Daniels didn't exist, he would easily be number one in that category. Amongst starting quarterbacks overall in the NFL, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably have him like 15th or 16th right now, but he's definitely a top half starting quarterback in this league. I mean, we definitely saw some growing pains from him early in the season last year, but then he was really able to develop into a true leader and go out there and make big plays, make big throws, lead offensive drives very well. Specifically, when you talk about leadership in big moments, in big drives, I would like to specifically refer to that drive at Arrowhead Stadium, where he quite literally did lead the perfect drive, Tad, and
Yeah.
then the field goal was blocked. But in that drive, what was your thoughts on like what Bo Nix can really do, like emotionally speaking?
I mean, when I watch football on Red Zone on a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday evening, I think of a concept that I like to call a legacy drive. I've mentioned it a few times, and to me, for Bo Nix, like that was a legacy drive, and I define personally a legacy drive being something when you are having a chance to either tie the game, take the lead in the fourth quarter, and to me, Bo Nix executed that legacy drive very well. Obviously, we know the result; it is what it is, but I think that spoke volumes to the potential that Bo Nix has, the abilities that he has, his talent, his cool headedness in a very difficult situation, obviously going onto the road into that arena to do what he did. I mean, he played a very high quality game of football there and he showed what he could do. Obviously, as a second year player, there's certainly things he can elevate in his game. I mean, we haven't seen the best of Bo Nix. I think that's something that Broncos fans would love to hear, that he can continue to improve. And I think he will. He's very serviceable in the run game. He's becoming a quality passer. So I like Bo Nix, and I think he can have another quality year. And he's also got some very interesting weapons too. Looking at the wide receiver room first, I'd like to touch on guys like Courtland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Devon Badley, and the rookie Pat Bryant, as well as Troy Franklin, who had that massive touchdown in the playoff game. So the wide receiver room, specifically Courtland Sutton, the wide receiver one, would like to give you a chance to give your takes on Courtland Sutton, and if you want some other wide receivers, go for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at specifically, make no doubt and questions about this, Broncos fans, Courtland Sutton is the best receiver on this team. And I mean, you got a couple of linemen like Garrett Bowles, Quinn Miners that can make a case as like maybe best player on the offense. But as far as skill positions over like amongst the skill players, Courtland Sutton is easily the best skill player on this team. So yeah, Bo Nix did have the incredible season that he did, but Courtland Sutton is a guy that he can beat so many different DBs one on one. He can break coverages. He can make incredible catches, incredible like legacy type plays, if you will. I mean, receivers should have a thing called legacy catches, Tad, and Courtland Sutton's had a few of legacy catches, if you will, as a wide receiver. And I mean, even I see that you're wearing that Viking shirt. You know that your boy Jay Jets can know a thing or two about a legacy catch. So
Yeah.
Courtland Sutton's had legacy catches in primetime moments, specifically like that Monday Night Football matchup. Um, Man, we watched so many of these things. Was that 2 seasons ago or last season where Courtland Sutton made? Oh, it was 2 seasons ago where he made that amazing catch from Russell Wilson in the corner of the end zone against Buffalo on Monday Night Football. Just like moments like that, if you know what I'm referring to. Courtland Sutton is an incredible talent. Marvin Mims Jr. has really developed and transcended into the hype that we saw him to be coming out of Oklahoma. There, Devon Bailey, I'm really liking him. I love the addition of tight end Evan Ingram as well. I think Evan Ingram is a very serviceable veteran tight end, a leadership presence in the locker room that's going to give us a real boost, especially amongst the receivers. PFF does have the Denver Broncos ranked number 2 amongst offensive lines. That's kind of why I was mentioning guys like Garrett Bowles, Quinn Miners. One thing that you would like to see with Garrett Bowles, I mean, early, you saw it kind of early on in his career, he would get a lot of holding calls and stuff like that, but you kind of feel like that number has gone down a little bit. So that's the biggest thing with the offensive line is Garrett Bowles specifically, and if he can keep his penalty numbers down. And just really offensive line penalties. I mean, that's something that we have struggled with over the past few seasons. Just you can't get careless holding calls and stuff like that and, negate 10, 15 yards. So got to watch out for stuff like that. But nonetheless, ranked 2. So, yeah, all 5 of Denver's starting offensive linemen are returning. All of them logged more than 800 snaps last season. They led the NFL with a 90.8 pass blocking efficiency rating. And like I said, Quinn Miners probably has emerged as one of the best players at his position. He truly has. So, definitely look for that to be a thing. What's going to be very interesting is, losing Javonte Williams. I'm going to be very interested to see, one, can J.K. Dobbins stay healthy? And 2, can J.K. Dobbins still be the same player that we knew him to be, like back in Baltimore and things like that? But nonetheless, if they need to run the ball with him, they got a solid enough offensive line to do it. So I'm sorry. I meant to let Tad host this episode if he wants to continue doing that.
That's fine. I feel like we're both giving a lot of good takes here. RJ Harvey also a solid addition in the draft from UCF in the second round. I think he's going to be a high level running back. Might take him a bit to get adjusted to the NFL level. Dobbins is a great leader to be behind, and I think eventually there's going to be a bit of a timeshare in the backfield. I mean, McLaughlin's also solid. Audric Estime out of Notre Dame, also a very quality player, great college choice as well.
I might question the college choice, but yes, he's a phenomenal talent. And he is certainly a player that has emerged as being a true difference maker on this offense. So, yeah, Tad, the offense, lots of great things to see. I mean, this is going to be a very fun team to watch. And speaking of fun players to watch, fun playmakers, exciting players, I'll kind of like transition this into shifting gears. Yes, Tad, you got the reigning defensive player of the year, arguably a guy who, I mean, just Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, he shows out again. And yes, I'd like to refer to none other than Patrick Surtain II, the reigning defensive player of the year. Where do you rank him amongst NFL players overall?
I mean, I think considering like all the performance he's had the last several years, especially last year in his defensive player of the year campaign, it's hard not to rank him in the top 10.
A very interesting take there. Yeah, Tad, what do you think about the free agent signings on the defense?
Yeah, I mean, you bring in the guys from San Francisco, the ones that had been carrying the 49ers the past several years. So adding Talanoa Hufanga, adding Dre Greenlaw, I think that could definitely beef up an already elite defense. This has the potential to be one of the top defenses in the league again.
You also drafted first rounder Jahdae Barron, the cornerback out of Texas. So you talked about a secondary. He's definitely going to be a fun player to watch. Savion Jones and Q Robinson, two edge rushers out of LSU and Alabama.
And I mean, these are high quality players that they drafted, and they're not even, as of now, making the top two on the depth chart. I mean, I think that just speaks to the immense depth that the defense has. That's not a knock on the players that they're drafting. Barron's a very high quality back. Savion Jones, a very high level rusher, but they are having a hard time moving up the depth chart just because of the elite talent in front of them. And they'll possibly just have to wait their turn a bit. So, but even if like some players happen to get injured, happen to need some time off, Denver would still be in pretty solid shape. I mean, this is a very deep and very strong defense.
And some of these players might not even make the cut on the roster. Like some of these guys might just be like, even right now, like auditioning for another team. So I'd hate to say it like that, but it could be a possibility. So, I mean, we're still doing this session in the preseason, so we'll see how it all transcends into the regular season. Yeah. So PFF does have the Broncos defensive line ranked number 8. I mean, you talk about interior defenders, John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen. They say here they generated pressure on over 14.7% of pass plays, which ranks second there. So, I mean, they're going to be a duo that's going to need to bring the noise, keep doing what they need to do up front. Franklin Myers and Allen. But specifically, I mean, I do really like what I've seen out of Jonathan Cooper as well. Jonathan Cooper is a guy, he's going to get his tackles. But we talk about CBs. I don't want the big like spotlight to cast the shadow on Riley Moss out of. Do you want to fill us in on Riley Moss?
Yeah, Riley Moss, first year starter last year, now going into his second year as a starter, fourth year on the team. Very
Out
interesting
of where? But
young player, the CB out of Iowa. So Riley Moss, he had some ups and downs last year, kind of got picked on a bit. I know the game against Cincinnati, T. Higgins kind of, well, had his way with him to say the least, but a young player learning behind a guy like Surtain, that's a very good spot to be. And Riley Moss is doing what he can to make the most of this experience. And I think he's going to continue to play and he'll get better. And I think he's going to learn in a Denver system how to be a high level defensive player. It looks like in terms of experience, he'll be once again the youngest starter on the Denver defense. So very, like I said, a very deep team.
Yeah, we talked about the free agent signings, Hufanga, Greenlaw. Jones is a very solid Brandon Jones. I expect him to get some interceptions as well this season out of Texas, the strong safety. So, but yeah, what do you think about the leadership that's going to need to be done with the defense?
I mean, there's a lot of guys here that could step into a leadership role. Obviously, you got Surtain,
from a coaching perspective.
Oh, from a coaching perspective, yes. Yes, we're going to have a big opportunity here for Vance Joseph to mold a very high level defense. And I mean, you got a lot of leaders on the field, off the field. I think you also need to mention Nick Benito some. He can take a big leadership role in the linebacker room, had an incredible year last year, made some key plays. The interception against the Colts comes to mind for me. And I think this is a player that is, once again, he's only going to get better too.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, Sean Payton, he's going to have a tough job this season. I mean, you got a really good offense, you got a really good defense. Even, we'll get into the special teams room in a second. Joe Lombardi, the offensive coordinator. We know how much I see that you're wearing that shirt, Tad, and we know how much you just love the name. And yes, he is related to the great Vince. As a matter of fact. But yeah, he is the offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi. So, and he is entering his third season with the team. So this Broncos team just, I mean, I'm smiling all around, Tad, because there's so much to be excited about. And yes, this is the preseason and everybody's excited and this and that, but I certainly have my true, like, this is one of the most exciting like preseasons I've had in a while for my beloved Broncos. I mean, I sincerely mean that because there's just so much to be excited about. And then, I mean, we're going into the special teams room talking about a guy who allegedly rarely misses. Unfortunately, we might have seen him miss once or twice, but we don't talk about that. Everybody is human. As far as I know, he never misses, Mr. Will Lutz. And I'd like to ask you personally, Tad, where would you rank Will Lutz amongst kickers in the league?
I'd probably say Will Lutz is a bit above average.
That's very interesting. I would say that he is definitely a solid kicker. I am just trying to pull up something here on him. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Apparently, I guess PFF does not even. Oh, they have him ranked at 11th amongst their fantasy rankings. So I just kind of wanted to see if I could chart that out. So I'd say that's pretty fair. 11th. Um, that's a fair ranking. That's a very fair ranking. So yeah, and then obviously in the return room, I just had that pulled up, but I do believe it's going to be Marvin Mims.
Yeah, Marvin Mims, the lead returner, also guys like Michael Banducci, Jaleel McLaughlin, Courtney Jackson, possibly.
But Tad, listen, my guy. I am a believer that the Denver Broncos can really go far. I'm a believer that they can do great things. I will unbiasedly, and truly say that we are going to win the AFC West, finish with a 12-5, either 13-4 record, just depending on how things go. It is a tough AFC. And in order to do that, for us to make the Super Bowl run, go deep into the playoffs. I mean, we mentioned guys like Will Lutz. We mentioned guys like, oh yeah, Jeremy Crenshaw, of course. Jeremy Crenshaw, of course. He is the punter on this squad. So the rookie out of Florida. He's also the holder um, for field goals as well. But he is going to have to depend on one specific guy to really get this team to the Super Bowl, Mr. Jeremy Crenshaw. And Tad, would you like to fill in and who that man is? The one guy on this roster we have not talked about.
I mean, we have not talked about Mitchell Fabroni yet. Obviously, the long snapper, out of Arizona State University, undrafted in 2018, had a bit of an interesting road to the NFL. He's certainly been in many different leagues. He was in the Spring League in 2020, which I think that is a now defunct football league that is kind of like a first try of spring football before like the UFL. Then he auditioned with the Texans, did not make it there, went to the USFL with the Pittsburgh Maulers in 2022. Since then, he joined the Broncos practice squad, made the active roster, and eventually had a chance to play with Denver. And now he has signed a 3-year extension with them as of this March. So it looks like they're giving him a fair shot to have a bit of a play in the NFL. He has 38 games played as of now through 2024. So he's continuing to get a chance here. So that is the report on Mitchell Fabroni.
What's your prediction? How do you feel like the Broncos are going to do this year?
Yeah, to follow up your prediction, you did say they'd be around 12-4 to 13 and 12-5 to 13-4. That was your prediction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I would probably say I think they win. I'll say 9 to 12 games.
Yeah, apparently you're not as high on them as I am. I'd like to ask why. Do you have a couple of reasons? Like, truly, because maybe I am being biased, though I feel like I'm not.
I mean, we both think they could get up to the 12. I'm just opening up the possibility of it being potentially lower. I mean, there's a thing, a potential sophomore slump type thing. I'm kind of factoring that in as a possibility for Bo Nix, but I definitely think Denver has all the potential to put it together and have a good year. That's why I'm willing to go as high as 12. I feel like 9 to 12 is a fairly reasonable prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you have any other takes you wanted to say?
No, no. I just hope that it's a really fun season of football for the Broncos. So, yeah.
Certainly should be. So yeah, thank you all for watching the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. Please continue to like, subscribe, and follow for our exclusive content, long snapper reports, and analysis of all 32 teams. Thank you for watching.